The Western North Carolina Nature Center in Asheville is part natural history resource and part zoo. Its mission is to connect people with the plants and animals of the southern Appalachian Mountain region. And it's a favorite destination for local residents as well as visitors to the Asheville area.
The Western North Carolina Nature Center is located on 42 acres of land just minutes from downtown Asheville.
We're owned by the City of Asheville, so it's a great opportunity for us to welcome people not just to Asheville, but also to kind of show them some of the things that the city supports, like parks and things like that.
It's also a great opportunity to introduce people to the natural history of the Southern Appalachians.
When people come here, it really gives them a good kind of slice of what the Southern Appalachian Mountains look like now, and also animals that might have lived here at one time. We exhibit about 60 different species of animals. We have about 250 specimens here. So when people come and visit, they're surprised at just how many animals are native to this part of the country. And I think when people come to visit this natural part of the state, it's a great introduction to some of the wildlife they might see.
A good place to start is in the Appalachian Station.
And this gives us a chance to see some of the smaller animals that you'd see in this area.
Here you'll be introduced to amphibians like frogs and turtles, the spotted salamander, and to the little furry mammal called the least weasel. Here is also a fine collection of snakes, from the corn snake, the pine snake, which can grow up to 6 feet long, to copperheads and timber rattlesnakes. And Brandon's Otter Falls, where the North American river otters are always willing to entertain. The World Underground exhibit lets visitors get a look at what's under the surface in the natural world.
We have a fantastic North Carolina farm area which focuses on animals that are typically used as domestic stock in this part of the state, but also animals that might come into a barn. We have a great skunk exhibit.
A 250-foot boardwalk takes you out over the black bear habitat.
We're an accredited member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which means that we have certain animal husbandry standards and conservation programs that we're very actively involved with. One of the species I think that we work with that folks are most interested in are the red wolves. Red wolves are animals that are very critically endangered. There is a wild population in eastern North Carolina, but a lot of zoos have come together with nature centers and zoos to help save this animal.
In addition to red wolves, other Appalachian predators include gray wolves and some vocal coyotes as well. Other favorites are the Appalachian cats.
Like the cougars. Our cougars were orphaned animals that came to us from the Oregon Zoo in Portland, Oregon, and they've grown up with us here at the Nature Center. We're not sure we have cougars still in Western North Carolina, although there are reports, but one thing we know for sure is we don't have an actively breeding population of wild cougars here in Western North Carolina, but it gives people a chance to see animals that pioneers might have seen when they first visited the area. Our overall goal is when people come and visit us is number one, to have a good time and to feel comfortable when they visit us and to learn a little bit more about the animals and plants that we have here. But we really hope people will gain an appreciation for the diversity of wildlife that we have here in the western part of North Carolina.
This is Derek Long for North Carolina Weekend.
The Western North Carolina Nature Center at 5 Gaseous Creek Road in Asheville is open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For directions and more information, visit them online at wncnaturecenter.com or give them a call at 828-259-8080.